Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Top 10 Tuesdays. Deep Bougie 86 here again. Now, the list that I'm doing for you guys today is a very interesting one. It's going to be my top 10 favorite visual films. What that means is films that I think are visually beautiful and they have a lot of great visual sense, like their musical scores, their cinematography. And some of these films are style over substance, which that means is uh, technically that these films have a lot more style than they do actual like storyline. That's why I believe that some of them are kind of like hit and miss with some people because the story's not like one that is fed out to you pretty much. But some of these are straightforward. I'll get into them more when I get into them. But let's just get into the list now. At number 10, we have a film from last year, and that is Horsehead. Yes. This is a French film, which is very reminiscent of Lucio Fulci's The Gates of Hell trilogy in a way, down to the fact that it also even stars Katarina McCall, who was the star of the Gates of Hell trilogy. She has a very great role in this film. Not the main character of the film, but her character plays an important part of our main character's story. Pretty much this is like a nightmarish vision where this girl keeps having these nightmares of this horsehead type creature like that's on the cover. And the story is not really that straightforward. Even I don't really know what this film's really about. It's like a visual treat to actually try to figure out what this film is really about. But it's just a beautiful made film, and it has some of the best cinematography I've seen last year. And it's just a beautiful film with some great atmosphere. So Horsehead's def at number 10 for me. So yep, that's at number 10. Number 9, we have a film from this year actually that was released this year anyways. And this is a film that I've been hearing a lot of mixed things about. Even from certain friends in my crowd of circles, and that is Baskin. Same thing with like a few other films on this list. This film is not going to be for everyone. This story is very nightmarish, and it doesn't really tell itself like a full like sync story in a way. But I really did fucking fell in love with this film from its opening like scenes, and its soundtrack is amazing. It's one of the best soundtracks of the year, I have to say, this film. And the director, Can Everon, he does a terrific job directing this. This is what I would call a visual masterpiece, in my opinion. It's just a beautiful looking film. And even though the story is kind of like, you know, kind of like style over substance in a way, it's still a great film, in my opinion. Because these type of films you could take for whatever they are. It's like a work of art. Like a bunch of these, it's going to be like the same thing in like the rest of the list. It's just a beautiful film, and I just fell in love with this film from its visual sense. So Baskin at number 9. Number 8 is a film that actually doesn't have a region 1 release. This has like a bunch of other like releases. This is actually, I think, like I believe this is like a German or French edition. I'm not really sure. And yeah, this is like in English subtitles, and that is Levi, aka Livid. This is another French film. This is from the directors of Inside. This is a very beautiful looking film. Like, it's just very beautifully shot, and it has like this elegant like musical score throughout it. What this is, the cool thing about this film is it is set on Halloween, and there's actually even a very cool Easter egg for us fans of like this certain type of film. I don't really want to spoil it for you, but I really did enjoy that they threw that little Easter egg. And this film's a little more straightforward than a lot of these films. Because it is kind of like an artsy type ending maybe, and this is just beautiful visuals, and I really did dig this film and its ending. So Levi at number 8. Number 7 is a film from last year also. This is a film that actually grew on me. I actually didn't really like this film the first time I watched this. I mentioned this before, and that is It Follows. This is a film that grew on me over like rewatches. This film is beautifully shot, and its soundtrack is just outstanding. By who does the soundtrack on this one again? Disaster Piece. That's just a fucking awesome name for like whoever composed this. I kind of want the vinyl for this soundtrack also because the vinyl cover is amazing. But yeah, this is a film that is kind of more straightforward. It doesn't seem to be the like on first watch because this is what I like to call a mood film. You have to be really in the mood to sit down and watch this one. And you can take what it is. It's a beautiful film with a great like 80s synth soundtrack with like a 70s touch with its cinematography. And it's just a beautiful film. It follows at number 7. Yep, 7. Getting on the roll with counting these days. At number 6, we have a film from 1973, yes. And this film is just a beautiful film to look at, and that, of course, is Don't Look Now by director Nicholas Roeg. Like I mentioned in one of my top 10s before, is Nicholas Roeg used to be a cinematographer. Well, he worked with Roger Corman back in the day and shot a lot of his films. So he has a very visual style of his visual sense and the way that he would want a film to be shot since he was a cinematographer himself. So he adds that to his films, even like his non-horror films like The Man Who Fell to Earth and Walkabout, which is an Australian film. They're all very visual in their sense, even though some of the, like Walkabout's more of a style over substance film, even though it's still a masterpiece in my opinion of Australian cinema. It's a very visual treat to see like this Australian outback scenario with like these kids roaming the Australian outback with an Aboriginal. But yeah, this film's amazing. It's beautifully shot, and it has one of the best endings of a horror film ever. Very slow burn, like most of like a lot of 70s films is, but the ending really impacts this one. It's one of the best endings of all time in my opinion. So yeah, Don't Look Now at number 6. At number 5, we have an Asian film, of course. I had to go into the Asian cinema route. And this film technically isn't a horror film. It's more like a revenge film, but I usually lump revenge with the horror subgenre. And this is a film by Park Chan-wook, who's one of the best directors of the Asian revenge films. And that is, of course, Lady Vengeance. From its elegant opening credit sequence to its cinematography, this film is just a beautiful treat to look at, and it has some great performances by its main lead actress, and of course Lee Young-ae, and of course Chow Min-sik, who does an amazing job in this film. Really, really great stuff. If you're a fan of revenge films and you like some stuff that's a little visual style to it, Lady Vengeance is up there with me. A lot of the whole Vengeance trilogy is pretty much a visual treat to look at, but I just like this one because of its visual sense and its opening scene. That's why I put it at number 5. Lady Vengeance. Another one is number 4 is a voyeur film, which I fell in love with when I first actually I did a review on this film on my channel. And that is Sheena Taskamato's A Snake of June. This film is in black and white, but its elegance of its blue tinge aspect, as you can see on the back cover. The film is in black and white, but it has like this blue tinge throughout the film, and it's just a beautiful treat to look at. I can see some people not really liking this film in a way because of the weirdness of it, because this film does get hella weird, like near like the end of it. But it's just a beautiful treat. Of course, Sheena Tascamato is one of my favorite Asian directors of all time. And this is one of his masterpieces, in my opinion. Def check out A Snake of June. Awesome shit right here. At number 3 is a film that... Another film I actually didn't see till last year, unfortunately. And this is another film that was recommended to me over and over again. And I just fell in love with it, and that is Cinetochee. Very beautiful film to look at with its great atmosphere and its visual sense of the Alps. Very well shot, and the musical score kicks hard. and it has some great performances in it by its cast. Really great film, and it's kind of like a weird way this film is structured. Kind of spoilerish if I try to go into it. I actually did a review on this, and it was a very hard film to actually really talk about because of its structure and the way the film progresses. But this is a masterpiece in my opinion. It's just a very well done film. This film is a solid 10 out of 10. So goodness right there. Number 2. It's a film I actually watched last week, and I'm hooked on this movie, guys. It's just every time I've watched this film legitly like 5 times since I got it, and actually I watched it again last night before I did this list. So this film is stuck with me. It is a visual masterpiece. Everything about this film. I'm actually sad that I never got a chance to watch this when it first came out, and it's sad because this director's film debut, and it's his only film. I hope he makes another film down the line that, of course, is Beyond the Black Rainbow, directed by Panos Cosmatos. Of course, his father is the famed director of such film favorites of mine as Cobra, Tombstone, Leviathan, First Blood Part 2. He actually worked on Tombstone with his dad, and this film isn't like his father's films. I'll just get that out of the way. It's a very different film. This film is a love letter to a lot of different things. First off, it's a love letter to the 70s style of filmmaking, and it has like this great 80s synth score in it that's pulsating throughout it, and I just fell in love with the score. I actually purchased the soundtrack to download it because it's only available on vinyl, unfortunately, so I did buy the MP3 version of it. But the soundtrack to this film is fucking outstanding, and the visual sense and its style, it's really fucking a beautiful film, and it has some great colors and schemes. And like I said before, the plot isn't straightforward as some other films. This film has a lot of like simply weird plot to this one, and it's just a beautiful looking film. This film is a perfect 10 out of 10 for me, so I def recommend you guys check out Beyond the Black Rainbow if you're into this type of stuff. Awesomeness right there. And at number 1, of course, we have another film that I know I hear a lot of mixed things about, and it's a very beautiful looking film and well made. And this isn't actually my favorite of this director's work, but it is a visual, beautiful film of its cinematography list and its style and its story. And it does have a lot of misconceptions and different opinions on this film. And of course, that is Dario Argento's Suspiria. It's just a masterpiece of Italian cinema. It's just a beautiful film to look at, and it has some great performances by Jessica Hopper and a lot of its other cast like Joan Benet, Udo Kier, and it's just a visual like masterpiece. It is kind of more style over substance in a way, but the story is kind of there. You just have to really, really like pay attention to it. It's like not one that really spoon-feds you the story, but the story is in its music. It's in its scenes of artistry and its imagery. And it's just a very beautiful film. Even though I know people don't care about this film that much, it is a very well-made film. And even though it's not my favorite Argento, it's still a 10 out of 10 because it is a very well-made masterpiece that grew on me over years. Same as It Follows. And that's why it's a number 1. Alright guys, that's it for this list. I hope you enjoyed it. Let's just go through some honorable mentions before I go through a recount. Hellmouth, which is another film from last year. It's really visual, beautiful. It uses kind of like a Sin City type, like some scenery and shit in style and black and white. It just missed the list. Another one is Angst. I really wanted Angst on the list, but I'm like, kind of wanted to talk about some other films that I was really into. Angst is a very beautifully shot film with a great soundtrack also. Another one is, yeah, plus I never actually really rewatched that one in a while. This is ones I rewatched over the time, and they're just fresh in my head, kind of deal. Uh, Another one is Strange Circus by Sonia Sono, who's actually my favorite director of Asian cinema and Asian horror and just Asian film in general. All his films are visually beautiful. Strange Circus is great with its visual sense and with its scenery and stuff. Another one is Samurai, another film I had to revisit. That's a very beautifully shot film and has a very hidden message. That film is not for everyone, also. And yeah, there's a bunch of other ones that I can't think of off the top of my head, but films that are like this, the films that make you want to think about them more and try to dissect them. And these are the type of films that I like, because I like to dissect what these films are about and their hidden messages and the way they shot them. So at number 1, of course, Suspiria. Number 2, Beyond the Black Rainbow. Number 3, Cinetochee. Number 4, A Snake of June. Number 5, Lady Vengeance. Number 6, Don't Look Now. Number 7, It Follows. Number 8, Levi. Number 9, Baskin. And number 10, Horsehead. Gotta check out all those films out, and plus the few that I gave honorable mentions to. And as always, guys, I'll see you next video. Peace out.